Hello, ladies of the Manifest It Challenge group. I'm Keri, coming to you live for day 2 of part 2 of our Manifesting Challenge. How are you guys doing? As you guys are hopping on, say hello to me. Today is going to be a really good one because it's about the illusions of life, the illusions that hold us back from the things that we want, the things that are not even real, but they're real to us. So I want to go over some of the illusions that I've experienced in my own life, and I would love to know if you have experienced these as well. The first one takes me back to the Turks and Caicos. My dad had a place down there, so we were lucky enough to head down to the Turks, kind of whenever we wanted to. It's only about an hour and 15 minutes, plane ride from Fort Lauderdale, so it was very easy to get to. And we kind of just became locals, and I would take my daughters down there anytime I wanted to. So it was a really cool place to go. Now, when my daughters were younger, of course, they liked shelling and snorkeling and all the things. And as a mom, I just kind of liked being on the beach, watching them from above the water. I don't like being too high in the sky, and I don't like being too low under the water. So I'm very happy just, on land. But down in the Turks, now I live in Florida too, and they've done this here, but in the Turks, when they would hand me shells to hold, the shells would always just get up and walk away. Like every shell they gave me had a living creature in it. So I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna hold any shells down here, But they started collecting these hermit crabs. Those are the ones that were in the pretty shells that they liked, and they were really, really tiny. So I know that I would start feeling something on my hand, the hermit crabs would start walking away. So when we got home, there was a time when we got home that they wanted hermit crabs. So we went to the pet store, and they had all these really beautiful colors. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen like hermit crabs or had them. I'm not really an animal person, especially things like that, but I allowed them each to get a hermit crab. And they needed it was beautiful shells that these crabs were in. And of course they each needed their own cage because, the girls were separate. They didn't want to share their cages, whatever. So each crab got its own cage. Now, when the crabs came out, these were not the ones that were on the Turks and Caicos. The ones in the Turks were tiny little crabs in tiny little shells. These crabs came out of the shell, and they were like tarantulas. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I was like, this is like, I don't like this. This is creeping me out, but it made the girls happy. They were in cages. I came home from work one day, and my nanny had said to me, Miss Keri, the crab escaped. And I'm like, well, what do you mean the crab escaped? Like, how did it climb up the inside of the cage and open the top of it and get out? How in the world did the crab escape? It was not in the cage anymore. And I'm like freaking out because I'm like, that's awesome. Where is this crab now, this tarantula in my house? So the story goes, if one crab is in a cage or in a pail or in something, it can get itself out. It's very, very ingenious. And it figures out a way to get itself out of a pail, a hole, a cage, anything. Now, if you put 2 crabs or more in the cage and one tries to escape, the others will pull it down. The others will not allow one crab to escape. They would rather all die and not escape than allow one to get out. The crabs. So, during my mastermind call last night, it was very interesting, our conversation. And it made me think, okay, so how often in life is one person succeeding and then all of a sudden pulled down by society, by friends, by colleagues, by family? Because there are certain people in life that don't like seeing other people succeed. They want to know where you're at to validate where they're at in life, to make them feel okay. Not really the greatest way to manifest if you're doing that, pulling someone else down. Instead of being the crabs, teaching them a different way and helping each other out of the pail, helping each other up the mountain, up the ladder of life. So I feel like we do this to ourselves as well. We're always being pulled into the past. And a lot of the women I work with are on loops of not completing a full cycle and getting to the next level. They are either having trouble getting to the next step because they hit a wall when they get to the top of the loop. They hit a wall. Something is not allowing them to move forward. Therefore, when they know the next action step, when they know what they're supposed to be doing to benefit themselves, to get them to the next step in life, business, whatever it is, they sabotage it. Unknowing it, they sabotage it. They get up, they don't sit down, they get distracted, they do something that puts them back in that loop. The crab inside of them, their subconscious mind, something in there is pulling them down. They're trying to get out of the pail. They're trying to get to the next level, and something keeps pulling them down. So if it's nobody around us, we do it to ourselves. So why? Why are we doing this to ourselves? So it was such an incredible conversation I had with this woman last night, and we got her over her loop. We talked for an hour and a half and finally got to the bottom of the issue of the loop. And I was wondering, I'm like, where is it happening? I want the exact moment of when this loop stops you from getting to the next level. I've talked to other women too, where the loop is something good comes in, then something bad comes in. It's like something good comes in and the other shoe drops because of things that we're told, coding that we have, programming that we have from the past. There are things that we know, which I've talked about this before. There are things that we know, like, I know what happened, in fourth grade. I know what happened when I was 10. There are things that I know, and then there are things that I can't see. There are things that I just can't see myself because something inside of me wants that hidden so deep. And I know I want to get out. I know I want to get out of that pail so bad, but I'm pulled back down and I can't do it. I have done it because I've done the work. I do the work to get myself out of the pail. And I also hire my own coaches because I'm like, I'm almost there. Yeah, I'm almost the next level. Find this thing in me, find the crab in me, find the belief in me that makes me keep sabotaging this. Because I know when I do it, I think we all know when we're doing it, we got to stop the loop. So my question is, where in your life have you felt pulled down by someone, pulled back by yourself even? And in this, maybe you're going, having a great time, you're getting some of your manifesting wins, things are working out, and then all of a sudden you hit a wall and you just can't get any further. There's one tiny little thing that you have to cross over, but there's no bridge to connect it. So that's what I help with, is connecting this bridge, getting over the loop, breaking the piece that is holding you back, crushing the crab, getting it out for once and for all. And we were talking about celebrations, and celebrating has a lot to do with it. Not able to celebrate, not having fun anymore like we did when we were kids, not being free spirits. We are free spirits, but we get coded, even as adults, as adult women, as mothers, as workers. And we kind of put some conditions upon ourselves, or society says certain things. When you're a mom, you cut your hair. Why do you have to cut your hair when you're a mom? But I did cut my hair. I looked older 20 years ago than I do now because of how I looked, my hair was, how my fashion style was, or lack thereof, because I was showing up for society. I was showing up how they wanted me to be. So therefore, I didn't even know who I was truly. Now I'm married, I have a baby. I don't like me. I don't like me because it's not me. I wasn't showing up as me. And anytime we're not showing up as us, if we are showing up for other people, we're separating ourselves from who we truly are. And therefore, when the disconnect happens, that's when we start having the negative emotions come up, whether it's anxiety, depression, because we're not connected to who we truly are. Celebrations also have been a thing. I know this in my life. I would love to hear from you guys as well, that when you get older, you're not really supposed to celebrate because it's kind of bragging. You're bragging. You're not supposed to brag. You're not supposed to show off. Don't be a show off. Don't brag. So what's the line of just being proud of something that you did versus bragging? So it all got very muddy, and nobody wanted to hear about my celebrations, the things that I was proud of, the things that I was super excited about. I wanted my friends and family to share in that excitement with me. And even as I got older and I was, doing a lot of the photography, I was doing celebrity events. That was really fun for me, but I was manifesting them also. I also said that I would like to do this. So therefore it came in. Was I any better than anybody else? No. Nope. Did I deserve it any more than anybody else? No. Did I say it and speak it and name it and claim it? Yep, and it came in. So I enjoyed the celebrity events for about 36 seconds because an event is very difficult to work for me. I like the way that I do my photo shoots. I like easy, fun, connected, in about an hour. That's it. The events were actually work. But it was fun for me to, to say, oh yeah, okay, so I was the only one, me and my sister did a celebrity photo shoot in Chicago on, I don't know, it was football players, and I don't even know really what it was. I think they were launching like a game, a game, whatever, some kind of, I don't even know what you call them, computer game. Madden something. So my sister and I were the only ones, other than the people playing, the old football players, the TV stars, whatever, and we were the only ones allowed to be on the field. So that was it was just really cool. So my sister and I could enjoy that together. Deion Sanders was one of them. We took a really cool picture of his daughter. He ended up giving us his phone number or email or something like that. It was just a really cool story. I like stories. I like situations. I like events. I like great experiences. But then I also like to share them too. Also, because look what I did, look what you can do. Look at what came in because I said it and I spoke it, look what you can do. But when I was talking about the Deion Sanders to some friends, they didn't like it at all. And I'm like, they did not like it at all. Nobody liked it. And then they were the crab and pulled me, yanked me back into the pail. And I was like, I felt it. I felt an energetic shock because I get like physical shocks if someone, does something like that. And I'm like, ooh, man. I go, that sucked. So what did I do from there? I had cool things happening, but I couldn't tell anybody. So I stopped celebrating. So I was alone in my celebrations. And I'm like, how do I live life calling in all this cool stuff and then not able to share it with anybody? So my daughters enjoyed it. My dad enjoyed my stories. But even some of the people in my family, they were, why do you get that? Why am I not getting that? Why am I not doing that? And I'm like, all you have to do is just do it. Write it, speak it, name it, claim it, and believe it's going to come in. That's pretty much how I do it. Now, missing the celebrations, the things we want, they like to come to people that desire things, not just need them. If we're going after something in a needy energy or a lack energy, we're not being magnetic, we're being a repellent to those things that we want. Whether it's a person, a relationship, or money, or anything life has to offer, a job, since it's all energy, people can feel it. Money is energy, money can feel it. So the way we draw our desires to us are in celebrations. Celebrating a rock that you found on the street just because, celebrating, the life that you're breathing, any little thing. Breathing's not little, but, we forget about that. We take things for granted. If I were to celebrate a rock, or just something tiny, people would say, or they used to say, why are you so happy about that? That's not much to celebrate. So we can't celebrate the small things unless you're a child, because then a child can pick up a stick and and act like it's a wand and be just so happy and celebrating this imaginary wand that they just created this whole story and fantasy around. So what age did we lose that? At what age were we not allowed to celebrate our things? What age were we not allowed to show up and be proud of the things that we're accomplishing? I don't know. I don't remember what age that was, but I lost my joy. I didn't know what I enjoyed anymore. I didn't know how to have fun anymore, because now it was up to the kids, especially if you're a mom. It's up to the kids to have fun. It's up to us to be a certain way, have to show up a certain way and to dance around silly, in the kitchen having dinner, which is eventually what I became, because the true me had to come out. We didn't sit at a normal dinner table, just saying our prayers and no one talking. We were just like having snacks around the kitchen table, because that's what my life was about. And the girls and I connected. We were listening to Lion King music, and just those were our dinner times. And our dinner times were much more connected than many other families that tried to live that perfect traditional life to show up for other people. So when it comes to celebrating, it is so important when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to life, when it comes to true wealth across the board of life, is to celebrate everything and to try your best to get that feeling, not just, oh yeah, I'm super excited, like to get that feeling of, oh my God, like I just photographed Arnold Schwarzenegger and it was kind of weird because he wasn't even looking. He was eating nachos and my clients were like looking at me waiting for the picture. And I'm like, yeah, if you think that I'm going to like go tap Arnold while he's eating, like this is, so I was given so much access that it was uncomfortable for me because I'm a little bit more shy than that. I'm a little bit more reserved. I don't need to be on stage with ZZ Top. I can certainly photograph them from the back. But so those were some of the things the stories that I liked to tell people, those kind of stories. Not bragging that I photographed these celebrities. It was just something that went on my resume. It was another thing that I wrote down and it came in. And to come to find out, I'd rather be at the party than be working it. So that was another one, I'd rather be on the red carpet at the party, not as a guest, not working it because I'm getting too old to be working events, I don't do them at all, but that was work for me. And I don't like my work being work. And when it becomes work and it's not play, then there's a problem. Then I'm not aligned with it. So I would love to know where this illusion, the illusion of the crabs, the illusion of the not being able to celebrate because has shown up in your life. I can see people on here, but I don't know what, I can't see anybody or any comments. So if anybody's saying anything, I don't know what's happening here. But I will definitely look later. So if you're watching replay too, let me know about this. Let me know if any of this is resonating with you, because it was a huge shift last night for one of the women in the mastermind, is that when we were talking about her celebrations, because she's on such perfect flow and such great momentum, but the block came up again and we finally were able to charge through it. And it was such an amazing feeling. And that is my goal, is anybody that I work with. I won't stop until I get you through that goal. I won't stop until I get you through that block. So that loop is gone, because the loop is not, it doesn't work for us anymore. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that's trying to hold us back. It's an illusion, like the iceberg, or like any of the other ones. The iceberg, we only see so much. We see the tip. The majority of life is underwater. The majority of life, the magic of money is something that can't be seen. Most of the beautiful things in life cannot be seen. Love can't be seen. Prayers can't be seen, but they can be felt. So when you take it down to the feeling of it, the feeling of, I'm just going to celebrate this blue cup of water because it's right here for me. I didn't even have to think about it. I'm going to celebrate this Palo Santo stick that I got from my friend that says, everything you want, you already are. How appropriate is that? Everything you want, you already are. Everything we want is right here for us. We can't see it yet. It's the bottom of the iceberg, but it's the biggest piece of it. The illusion of it only is there if I can see it is old news. It's old paradigm. It's my grandparents and even my parents' way of thinking. Not mine. And anybody in my world, we're working in the new paradigm where things just get to be easy. And we can name and claim things to have and be because it's easy, because we can. And we get on that train. We get on the train of changing our story and changing our loop and going after the things that we want. And we can have more and more and more. And the only rules for us are, our job is to desire, not just want, not just need, to desire the things because we deserve it. You deserve it. Everybody deserves it. Everybody was born worthy and worthy of everything. And that's one of the biggest blocks, is not feeling worthy enough to have. And that, without working through that, the old stuff, the scars, the bruises, the trauma, the stuff that we still hold within us, is a huge key that will unlock your manifesting door to the rainbows, the golden rivers, the love on the other side. Because it's time to put the bowling ball of stress and bullshit down. We carry it like a baby. How big were your babies? Like, I gained 35 to 40 pounds, I think, with mine. And I picked up a 20 pound, I think it was 25 or 30 pound ball at the gym. And I'm like, holy crap, I gotta squat with this thing. I'm just like, this is heavy. And we carried it for 9 months. 9 months. And we don't unless you're pregnant, don't have that anymore. We don't need to carry the ball around with us anymore. The baby, yes, the baby's bliss. The ball is BS. So we need to put the ball down. But we're so conditioned. Oh, I feel so light and airy. I don't know how this feels. We pick it back up again. The ball of stress, the ball of stuff. And if you're around people that still are in that old paradigm, they will want you to carry yours and theirs. So picking your people wisely, you calibrate to those around you. That's why our mastermind has been so amazing. And one of the girls even said it, we calibrate. All the girls, the first phone call, it was between me and them. The first phone call I have with any of my clients is such a different experience from the last one, from in 3 months, from in 6 weeks. The smiles I see at the end when we're breaking through some of this stuff, things that they didn't think was possible. They're seeing, understanding the true tools and how to get the things that they want. And it was interesting because another one of them didn't, she was showing up to the calls, doing the work, and then she was still wasn't feeling the shift, wasn't sure if it worked. Friday, we had a call. Saturday, something happened to her. She downloaded something. She changed. She found her voice for the first time in a very, very long time. She changed the energy of everything around her. And by the next call, she was spinning around. Her energy had just shifted so much, because even when you come to calls like this, you're not doing anything else. So you're absorbing the information, you're absorbing the things I'm saying. It's going to your soul. So even if you don't see manifesting wins today, it's in you. This information won't ever leave. Once you see the illusions, you can't not see them. Once you see the illusions, it's like the elephant as well. The elephant that's a baby at the little stake trying to, he knows he can move. He knows he can get away, but he's not strong enough as a baby. And then he doesn't see the parents doing it. He doesn't see the parents breaking free. So by the time he gets older, he doesn't even try anymore. Because no big elephant has ever tried to move that tiny, tiny stake. And in a moment, one walk to the right, they could tip it over and be free. And they have been conditioned that they can't do it. Because when they were small enough, they weren't strong enough. And then they became conditioned to not even try anymore. Why bother try? My parents haven't done it. My grandparents haven't done it. Why? I guess it's not meant for me. Another illusion. Another illusion. The abundance that we have around us is forever flowing, and it doesn't shut off. I was told it shuts off. I was told when my dad would monitor my money when I was younger, well, how much do you have there and how much do you have there? And for a while it was fun because he and I like to talk about money, and what was coming in and investments, and we, bought and sold silver coins together, and that was our thing together. And then all of a sudden when he started getting a little bit older and he was going through a second downfall of losing everything, he was talking to me about money, and everything he said was negative. Well, that won't last. Well, that's a loser. Well, that was a dumb one. And I'm like, I'll touch the hot stove once, twice, maybe 3 times, but after that 3rd time, sometimes it takes me a little while. I'm like, oh, no. He's like, what about this? I'm like, oh, no, everything's fine. So I never, ever, ever from that moment on told him anything about money. But his words stuck to me. I didn't want to believe it, but they did. So we have to be very careful of what we hear and what we absorb and what we allow others to know, others to tell us, because the majority of times we're getting information from people that haven't done it. We're getting information from people that have not cleaned up their own energy fields, that have not, found the success themselves. So then they want to say, you'll never do that. You won't do that. You're not good enough to do that, because they didn't do it. It's just like the doctor saying, what's your family history of illnesses? Doesn't matter. I'm me. I'm my own person. I don't care if every single person in my family died at a certain age. Doesn't mean I have to. That's how powerful we are. We can do and change anything we want to. And the minute we start clearing out some of these blocks, other things are just cleared out just automatically, because they're layered. They're layered. And when you have pains shoulder and neck pains, when you have lower back issues, when you have hip issues, they're all connected to an emotion, a stuck emotion. When you can't lose weight, it's a held on emotion. So the minute we start releasing some of these things, we start feeling better, we start looking better, our body just releases these aches and pains. I started having lower back issues, I think, when my dad died, because it was a very difficult time for me when he died, and it's been 4 years. And I had to find myself again because I was so attached to his way, because I was so much like him that I thought everything he did was right. So I was doing it. Aren't you proud of me? When I was losing my money, I'm like, this only means we're going to be successful again, right? Stupid way to think, but that's what I knew. That was my story until I changed it. And the minute I started changing things, then my pains would go away. My back pain went away. We don't have to live by the old paradigm anymore. I wish I could see who's here. I wish I could see if you guys are saying anything. Let's see. Remembering how it feels when you did get what you wanted. Remembering how good it feels when you were surprised with something, a celebratory moment, and bottling that feeling up. And I've talked to several people this week where they're just so happy. They're having better relationships. They're getting gifts. They're getting spa days, and just the excitement you see in them it's contagious, just like somebody that wants to complain. So to just bottle up that energy and watch your words, because our words are spells and our words are a wand. And being kind to yourself as well. If you're going to be saying I ams, make it something good, something that you can believe and get behind. Get on the right train, the bliss train, the one that's going to take you to Treasure Island, the one that's going to take you to the perfect thing, the perfect desire that you're creating and you're crafting, like a potter. Potter doesn't want to ever run out of clay. It never will run out of clay. It just keeps molding what it wants, changing it. And that's what we have to do too in life. It doesn't have to be just like, I'm afraid to ask for this one thing because if this one thing comes in, what if I don't want it? What if I want to change it? We can change things along the way. That's the greatest thing. We can change it along the way. And if it's going to come in, which it will come in, then make it be something that you want, you truly, truly desire. Not, I don't know if I'm worthy of this, I'm going to get this. I like to have people think bigger and bigger and bigger, because if it's going to come in, why not go for it and do the thing and have the thing? So if you guys are in loops that you can't get out of, then this group is going to end up closing on Saturday, and then we're going to continue the party over in the Dream Hub group. I'll be back on tomorrow at 1:00 to talk about more fun manifesting and activating things. And if you have not booked your Passions to Profit call with me, let's see if we can do a breakthrough on the phone call, break through a loop, see where you're at. Get on my calendar for that, because those are complimentary until Saturday as well. So if you guys have any other questions, message me, and I've got another round of the mastermind starting next week as I'm finishing up with this group, and I can't wait to start sharing the wins with you and the transformations that these ladies have gone through. I'm wishing you guys all a wonderful day. Do not let the illusions of life stop you in any way. If they're any sort of illusion, then you turn it into a fantasy and go after your dreams and desires, because they're there waiting for you. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.